Hey! Hey, rock stars. I'm gonna do a Facebook Live spicy red pepper soup demo in about 1 minute. This is, we're listening to this violinist. His name is Eric Stanley, and he must be in college or college age right now, but I remember watching him on YouTube videos since he was like a child, and he is just amazing. So just jamming out a little bit with Eric Stanley. Look him up. He's got a huge YouTube presence, and he plays that violin like nobody's business. So I see people are coming on. Hey, I can't see you. I can't see your name from way across the room, but thank you so much for coming in. So let me see what time it is. It is like 2 o'clock, so let's get started. So I'm Carlo DeRosa, and we're doing our 21-day. Ooh, let me take my background music down a little bit. Okay, let me take it off because he's gonna start talking in a minute. So I'm Carlo DeRosa, and we're doing our 21-day clean spring cleanse, and or spring clean cleanse. And so I'm just challenging people to incorporate raw in their life to heal their body. A little bit about my story. So I'm 50, and when I was in my early 40s, I experienced a terrible health crisis that had been building up over my life. I was a colicky baby. I had digestion problems when I was born, and they just got progressively worse. And I knew it had something to do with what I was eating, but I really didn't know what the solution would be. And after going to many doctors, many specialists, lifelong of tests, prodding and poking, and samples of this, and testing allergies and different things for that, I didn't get any solutions until I did an elimination diet, and I went raw for 10 days. So I went raw for 10 days, and I had a great coach, and she walked me through the process because it wasn't anything that I was familiar with. There were, in my mind, a lot of rules, which there are some things that we have to do to keep ourselves safe when we change our lifestyle. And she was amazing. So in 10 days, 90% of my symptoms went away, and also I wasn't on any medication. I stayed on 100% raw for 4 months. I lost 60 pounds. I didn't even think I was heavy. A lot of it was inflammation and water weight and just built up toxicity. So my body just started detoxing. And so that's why I love doing cleanses using raw food, because I like to eat. So I don't want to be hungry. I understand water fast. I started to see so much evidence on just intermittent fasting, which I do practice, and water fasting, like long-term water fasting. When I say long, I'm talking about 30 days, and how good it is. But I'm not there yet. Maybe one day I could be a breatharian and just lay out in the sun and not eat anything. But right now, I'm loving food. I'm a raw foodie. I'm a regular foodie too. I try to stay on the plant side of things, definitely. But I love food. So when I realized that I could cleanse my body, heal my body, and using raw food, and I didn't have to go to medicines or all these other medical interventions, I was like, dang, this is amazing. So I just started going to farms and doing raw food demos. I worked with Truly Living Well farms, and I did that for a while. Worked with community farmers markets, did farm demos for them for a while. And I went back to the Living Foods Institute, where I initially did my boot camp, and I worked there for 3 years, and now I've been on my own. So that's a little bit about my story and why I'm so passionate about raw food, because I was plant-based. So I was a vegetarian, but honestly, I did a lot of macaroni and cheese and bread and stuff like that. So I wasn't eating meat, but I wasn't really eating clean. And I did that for years. I mean, all the way since college, I dropped meat pretty much. And but I still had these health problems. And so just tweaking my diet, incorporating the raw food made a world of difference for me. And it made me think, how many people want to get off medications, have surgeries, and really it's what they eat, and they don't even realize it, or they realize it, but they don't know how to transition, because I was never taught anything like this. I learned full Southern cooking from my grandmother. So, you know, I never had full immersion raw food until I got trained, and it's changed my life. So that's my story. We're on day 4. I've lost 6 pounds, and like I was saying yesterday in my live, that, you know, water weight, waste, I started doing my home colonics, which are kalimas, and so I pulled waste out of my colon, and you know, losing inflammation. My body is stopping to be defensive by holding the water weight, and I just been, you know, releasing a lot of water, and that's where 6 pounds came from in 3-4 days. I mean, so, you know, I'm not really that concerned about the scale, but for people who are concerned about the scale, just think, if you did 21 days of raw, if I'm losing 6 pounds in the first few days, I mean, come on. You can lose weight. I met a woman last night. She said, I've never been this heavy. Well, let's do it. Let's take it off. Let's try raw food, because what we're doing isn't working, right? If we had the solutions and we were good with what we're eating, we wouldn't be looking around, right? So we're looking to find our tribe, to find our teacher, to find the lifestyle that worked for us. I found the lifestyle that works for me, and I want to share it with you. All right, so I do have a recipe book, and I'll put the link in the comments if you're interested. It's called, but of course you're interested, it's called Rock Your Life, 21 Delicious Plant-Based Recipes. So people are always asking me for recipes, always. And so I decided to go ahead and put together a recipe book. And it also has a lot of my teachings, because I don't want to just tell people to do things and they have no idea why. So I have explanations. So it's like a little mini primer for people looking to transition or incorporate some raw. So today we're going to do recipe number 20, which is spicy red pepper soup. And I'm going to show you how quick it is. So I love soup. You know, it's like a savory smoothie, so it's really the same concept. So we're gonna do it, and I don't know the recipe by heart, but I think I have everything out here that I need. So red peppers, which these are actually yellow, so that works, that's good. 1 carrot, cashews soaked and rinsed. Okay, so these are pecans. You can use any nuts you want. But what you have to do, which is so important, you have to soak your nuts. So nuts are covered with something called enzyme inhibitors, and one of the main reasons why we eat raw foods is because our body begins to get low on enzymes. We don't have enough enzymes. Raw foods have their own enzymes. So they're, and every chemical reaction that happens in the body happens from some enzymic reaction. So if you don't have enzymes, then basically your body is static and is dying. So we have to have enzymes. So we definitely don't want enzymes and enzyme inhibitors. So this was just a cup of pecans, and you can use cashews, which not really raw, but we'll talk about that later. Almonds or whatever nuts you want. Soak them. You know, usually I'm soaking them overnight. I soaked these a little bit earlier today, but you can see all this reddish stuff, that's the tannins. That's the enzyme inhibitors. And especially if you're incorporating raw food, if you do a lot of raw nuts and you're not soaking your nuts, you're constantly taking in enzyme inhibitors, and so you're going to be blocking your own enzymic reaction in your body, which you really don't want to do. I'll give you a quick story. I had a friend, she went completely raw. I call it rogue raw. She didn't consult me, she didn't say anything, and I would have been happy to help her. I do consults, I do nutritional consults, and I do body scan with the consults and a report, a 25-page report. And I guess maybe she didn't want to pay me or whatever, barter. She decided to just go rogue raw, what I consider, and she was eating like, I don't know, I would estimate a ½ pound of raw nuts a day. And over the period of 2 years, she became extremely anemic. She lost a lot of weight. She went to the doctor. They had to put her on like this iron drip. She had to sign a release that if she got sick from the iron drip that she couldn't sue them. And so what happened was she ate so many raw nuts with these enzyme inhibitors without soaking her nuts. You got to do this. This is very important. Then she started to, her body used the enzyme inhibitors, started to impact her absorption of minerals. Okay? And because it just wasn't allowing the chemical action that needs to happen. So when you soak your nuts, then now you're activating. This is the process that we call sprouting your nuts. So this is half of the process. Just like your grandmama used to say, soak them beans. Don't just cook those beans. You got to soak those beans overnight. This is what I'm saying. Grandma knew. And Native Americans, they used to know too about soaking beans and even chewing corn before using it to cook to get those enzymes going. I know that sounds different, but we knew this. Somehow we forgot about it when we let our food go commercial. And but I'm here to remind everybody to soak your nuts. And actually, there's a famous raw foodist in Chicago, and she has a book called Soak Your Nuts. So this stuff goes deep. Like, she wrote a whole book about it. So anyway, we have our cup of soaked and rinsed nuts, 1 tomato, 1/3 onion, I already said the 2 peppers, ginger, garlic, Himalayan salt, and I'm going to add a little bit of smoked paprika. All right, let me just make sure that we're still live. Getting a lot of calls, interrupting my class. Are we still live? Can somebody wave at me and let me know that we're still live here? And no, oh yeah, we're still live. Okay, great. All right, so let's get crack-a-lackin'. All right, so soups. I love soups. Very nutritious. Raw soups, so quick to make. Really, really great. All right, so we're gonna get into these peppers. So everything's been rinsed in acidic water. I have a hydrogen water filtration system here at the house that I'll tell you about one day. It's awesome. So it makes alkaline water, makes acidic water, and so I use the acidic water to clean my produce. So I'm leaving the pith and the seeds. Notice that? So that's really important because that's really where the medicine is. And I know we usually toss that, but don't do that. But on the same hand, don't just put it in the blender, because I've opened peppers and literally seen moths, literally seen fungus and mold. So you still got to look in there and check it out, make sure it's clean and beautiful. But we're just going to put this in here. I'm going to put my tomato at the bottom because my tomato is a lot of where the water is. So the only thing you would take off the peppers are these stems because they're so woody. All right, 1/3 onion. So when you have a Vitamix, you don't have to take the outer skins off. I take the most farthest outer skin because it's been exposed to dust and things like that at the grocery store. But after you take that off, you don't have to because it will liquefy in the Vitamix. So it says 2 medium cloves of garlic. All right, I love garlic, so I'm gonna put 3. 1 is really small, but again, I'm not gonna peel my garlic. Carrot, take off that little edge. That's fine. I think what I'm gonna do before I get my carrot going, I'm gonna get my wet things going. But let me cut up a piece of ginger and put the carrots to the side, and I'll put this in next after I get my liquids going, just to take care of my blender. But we want a little bit of Himalayan salt. The recipe calls for a teaspoon. This is 1/4 of a teaspoon, so I'm just gonna do 3 of these and taste it. And let's go ahead and get this going. Go ahead, my soup for my lunch. All right. got my peppers, my carrots, my pecans that I used in this recipe today, tomatoes, onion, garlic, ginger, and Himalayan salt. So a lot of it had to do with how you layer it. Always put the wet stuff on the bottom. It'll make a liquid. Then you add the more fibrous, the more heavy things, the nuts, the carrots on top, and it'll be fine. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. It's kind of thick. Notice no water. So this is literally like me eating 2 red peppers, a cup of pecans. Like, this is like me getting mad nutrition. A giant carrot, 1/3 of an onion, 3 cloves of garlic. Like, we get sick and we're like, oh, I need some garlic. How do we get it? Like, put it in some soup, right? Oh, this is great. Nice and creamy from the nuts, because the nuts add the fat. And so, you know, people will say, oh, don't, you know, I don't want fat. Oh no, you need fat. Every cell in your body has a lipid layer, and you gotta have fat. So don't even play. Don't play. We need fats. Low fat diet, no fat diet, that's so 80s. Let it go. And this is a little bit of smoked paprika for color, and also I love the taste. So I'm gonna come to you. Oh, also I wanted to put a little rosemary. I'm gonna come to you and show you my soup, then I'm gonna sign off. Thank you for being with me. I'm Carlo DeRosa, Rawxit.com, RAWxit.com is my website. Join our 21-day spring clean cleanse. Here's my spicy red pepper soup. Very, very thick, beautiful, bright colors. Really good. This is my favorite. That's why it's the only soup in the book. I love cooked soups, but this is my favorite raw soup. It's really good. Okay, so I'll put you the link for my book if you're interested. Of course you are. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. Have a great, great Thursday, and join us in the cleanse. You don't have to do 21 days. I have someone came and bought a couple books yesterday. They're like, okay, I'm gonna start Monday. Start Monday. If you're interested, start Monday. You could just do 14 days. You could do 7 days. You could do 1 day. Challenge yourself to see how much raw food you can do, you know, just in 1 day. Could you be a raw vegan for 1 day? You know, people always say, well, where would I get my protein? Cows are raw vegan. They're pretty big. All right, Rockstar. Finally signing off. Thank you. Have a great day.